Welcome to this video. My name is Pedro Rodrigues Ribeiro. I'm a psychologist from Portugal. In my latest video, one of my latest videos, I talked about EMDR. I presented EMDR as an integrative psychotherapy model or an integrative approach. And when I was researching EMDR and the EMDR history and what Francine Shapiro proposed and all those kind of things, I realized that EMDR, in an early stage, EMDR has a lot of similarities to other processes or other approaches, such as hypnosis. Now, EMDR therapists or the EMDR field in general, they don't like that. They don't appreciate this comparison, and they don't see this with good eyes. They don't want to admit that there are similarities between EMDR and hypnosis. But why does EMDR have a better reputation, have a better image that hypnosis has? Well, let me talk about that for a while. First of all, you have to consider the origin of these approaches. So EMDR has a clear origin. You can research EMDR and you can state that EMDR was born and was developed in that year by that person specifically. No, we all know the history. EMDR was created and developed by Dr. Francine Shapiro. Period. You don't have any confusion about the origins of EMDR. As for hypnosis, the origins are not so clear. Hypnosis might derive it, or hypnosis might evolved from mesmerism, from the works of Franz Anton Mesmer, and it's not clear the cut line. A lot of people say that James Braid is considered to be the father of hypnosis, but other authors and other people say that James Braid wasn't the first person to utilize the term hypnosis into writings. So it's not clear when hypnosis start to appear what is her origins in comparison with EMDR. It's clearly defined. As for the definition of EMDR, the definition is also clear. Well, you have the initial definition by Francine Shapiro. Nowadays, you can argue that EMDR has evolved and other authors or other researchers developed a different style or different components of EMDR. But the core definition is clearly written by Francine Shapiro, the creator of EMDR. Now, if you want to have a definition of hypnosis, you have a lot of definitions about hypnosis, and the definition of hypnosis will vary in terms of what is the theory behind hypnosis. You have the altered state theory, you have the non-state theory, you have a mixed theory, you have trance, you have expectations, you have simulation, you have, well, a lot of things. You have the clinical and experimental side of hypnosis. You have the Ericksonian approach. All those different theories and aspects of hypnosis provides you with a different definition. It's understandable the difficulty that for example, Division 30 of APA has on writing or defining or to get a general definition of hypnosis that can please the research and the clinical side, but also the Ericksonian side. So it's a very difficult task. It's not clear when you define hypnosis. Now, it's clear when you define what is EMDR. Another aspect or another point is the research side. EMDR started as an empirical research-based model. You have the initial RCT or randomized controlled trials that Francine Shapiro did with trauma victims or post-traumatic stress disorder and all those similar disorders. So EMDR began as a research-based model. Now, at the side of hypnosis, the research side of hypnosis evolved in the 30s with behavior therapy and with the first research laboratories. For example, Clark Hall is considered to be one of the most important names in the history of behavioral therapy and also hypnosis, because he was the first to introduce the first empirical study on hypnosis. So where EMDR started as a research-based approach, now hypnosis didn't start that way. And the research side of hypnosis, it's very young. It started in the 2030s, so it's really that young. It doesn't have a lot of years. And also, EMDR is constantly researched, and hypnosis, you have a selective few that research on hypnosis, but it's not as popular as EMDR. Also, the goals, the objectives of EMDR and hypnosis varies. Clearly, EMDR is conceptualized in 8 phases, and the goal of EMDR is to reprocess traumatic events, traumatic memories, traumatic emotions, traumatic cognitions, all those kind of things. Now, as an approach, hypnosis, the goal of hypnosis, I would say, is to transform a therapeutic model in a more powerful therapeutic model and a more efficacious or efficient therapeutic model. That's the goal. But it isn't clear when you utilize hypnosis. You utilize hypnosis as a tool, as a technique, as an approach, where EMDR, nowadays you can utilize EMDR as a psychotherapy for itself. So the goals are different. As for the way that EMDR is done versus the techniques of hypnosis. In hypnosis, you focus, the objective is to focus the client's attention into a focused state of awareness, but also you can expand that attention. For example, in alert, active alert hypnosis, you expand the focus of awareness and consciousness of the client. Usually you have hypnosis with relaxation procedures, you have hypnosis with regression phenomena, so you have hypnosis with catalepsy, you have a lot of hypnotic inductions, and the objective is to, the goal of hypnosis is to give suggestions to alter the perception, the reality of the client's thoughts, emotions, behaviors, so you can achieve change. Now, in EMDR, the way that you apply EMDR is clearly defined in the phases of the intervention. Now, hypnosis doesn't have this clear definition. It depends, again, in the model or the theory that you utilize, the theory of hypnosis that you utilize. Obviously, in research settings, you have a standardized protocol, you have a standardized phased, clearly a definition of phases in the hypnotic intervention, but if you are in a clinical setting, it could differ. So it's not that standard, it's not that clear. One of the most important aspects which EMDR and hypnosis differs is the public perception of EMDR and hypnosis. The public perception is very different. EMDR is characterized and viewed as a very important and very legit, that's the word, very legit therapy, a very legit therapeutic process. When you see EMDR in the media, for example, in television series, EMDR the way that EMDR is perceived is always in the clinical setting. It's always in the structural phases. So EMDR is perceived in the media as a therapeutic approach. Now, when you go into the history of hypnosis, well, hypnosis has a bad reputation. I'm the first to admit it, because hypnosis is utilized in stage shows, in entertainment. The way that the media sees hypnosis is as a mind control technique in a nefarious way. So hypnosis has a bad rap, clearly. And also, what doesn't help, and it's my last point, is the future the directions of these approaches. The future of EMDR is in constant research and constant evolution to other pathologies, to other structural protocols. So EMDR is in constant evolution. Now, hypnosis is in an interesting state. Nowadays, there is more hypnosis research that is done. For example, in my university, there is a current study on the effects of hypnosis and mindfulness in pain management. One of the people that is involved in this process is Dr. Mark Jensen, which is a renowned therapist and renowned researcher. His work on pain management with and without hypnosis is great. He's a worldwide reference in the field of cognitive behavioral therapy and hypnosis. So he is legit, so to say. But the future is gray. It's in the gray state for hypnosis, while EMDR in certain countries, for example Portugal, is considered to be a psychotherapy approach. So that means that only psychologists and psychiatrists can utilize EMDR in clinical settings. They're the only ones that can have EMDR training. In Portugal, psychotherapy is reserved only for psychologists and psychiatrists, so they are the only ones that can be trained on EMDR. Hypnosis doesn't have that regulation, that clear cutting, so you can have everyone to be trained in hypnosis. Literally, in Portugal, there is a severe problem with that. You can have a lawyer take a 3 months or a free weekend course in hypnosis, and if the lawyer decides to, he or she can open activity as a therapist, as an alternative therapist, and practice hypnosis without a clear prejudice. So it's very difficult to regulate hypnosis versus what is the clear regulation of EMDR. And I think that EMDR and hypnosis are not so different. They have similarities, although the way that EMDR was created and the way that Francine Shapiro guided EMDR towards was a better way, clearly a better way than what happened with hypnosis. It's unfortunate, but it's the reality of things. So thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.